Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? In this video we are going to continue studying the imperfect tense in Spanish. In a previous video we learned how to speak about things that we used to do in Spanish using the verb soler. In this video we are going to use the imperfect tense in Spanish to describe the period of time for something that happened in the past. Y vamos a empezar ahora mismo. Like I said, we are going to use the imperfect tense to set the period of time for something that happened or used to happen in the past. This is something like saying, when I was a kid, I used to play at the park. When I was a kid, this portion of information is telling me the period of time when I used to play in the park, when something used to happen. So we are going to learn this type of information in Spanish, and we are going to use imperfect tense for this. So we will need to learn the imperfect tense conjugation of some key verbs like the verb ser, also the verb estar. Okay, now I'm not going over all the conjugations because I've made a few other videos about imperfect tense, and you probably know the conjugations of these verbs. The verb tener is also very important in the imperfect tense. And finally, the verb haber or I, there is, there are. It's very important for the imperfect tense because we are constantly saying there was, there were, etc. In this case, we have había, habían, there was, there were. We also need the word cuando, when, because we will use cuando to introduce the period of time for the action that happened or used to happen in the past. Let's take a look at this example here. This example of a period of time. Cuando jugaba en el equipo de mi escuela. Cuando jugaba en el equipo de mi escuela. This is the period of time when I played in my school team. Something else happened or used to happen. Okay? Another period of time. Cuando trabajaba en el banco. When I was working in the bank. Cuando trabajaba en el banco. During this period of time, something happened or used to happen. Another example of period of time using imperfect tense in Spanish. Cuando Ana estudiaba en la universidad. Cuando Ana estudiaba, when Anna was studying at the university. Cuando Ana estudiaba en la universidad. These are examples of periods of time. Now, let's take a look at these periods of time plus something that happened. Cuando jugaba en el equipo de mi escuela, tuve una lesión. Cuando jugaba en el equipo de mi escuela, tuve una lesión. When I was playing in my school's team, I had an injury. So I had an injury. Tuve una lesión. That's the action that happened. Now, when did this action happen? When did I get the injury? When did I have the injury? That happened when I was playing in my school's team. Cuando jugaba en el equipo de mi escuela. That period of time takes the imperfect tense conjugation. This other example here. Cuando trabajaba en un banco, that's a period of time, aprendí mucho sobre finanzas. Cuando trabajaba en un banco, when I was working in a bank, aprendí mucho sobre finanzas. Aprendí, I learned a lot about finances. Okay, that's what happened in the past. Aprendí, I learned. When did it happen? It happened when I was working in a bank. Cuando trabajaba en un banco. Again, this period of time takes the imperfect tense conjugation. This other example, cuando Ana estudiaba en la universidad, conoció a Miguel. Conoció, met, right? She met Miguel. Now, this happened when Ana was studying at the university. Cuando Ana estudiaba, imperfect tense, en la universidad. We also need the word cuando to set the period of time for something that used to happen. We have seen that we set the period of time for things that happened in the past. Now let's take a look at some examples. setting up the period of time for things that used to happen in the past. Periodo de tiempo, the period of time here. Cuando vivía en Madrid. That's the period of time when I was living in Madrid. Cuando vivía en Madrid. Another period of time here. Cuando era niño, when I was a kid. Cuando era niño. Another period of time. Cuando tenía 20 años. Cuando tenía 20 años. And cuando usaba una computadora vieja. Cuando usaba una computadora vieja. That's the period of time when I was using an old computer. So all these examples are setting up the period of time for something that used to happen in this case, for something that used to happen. Remember that when we are going to describe something that used to happen, we will use the verb soler. And if you want to know more about the verb soler, click on the link that I will put on the top right corner here. I'm going to link the other video that we have about the verb soler. So, cuando vivía en Madrid, during that period of time, cuando vivía en Madrid, in perfect tense again, practicaba mi español todos los días. We use imperfect tense to describe something that used to happen. Practicaba, I used to practice. Practicaba mi español todos los días. I used to practice my Spanish every day. Again, you set the period of time and then you describe something that used to happen, both with imperfect tense in Spanish. If you are learning something about the imperfect tense, please go ahead and click on the thumbs up. That helps a lot, and I promise I will be making more videos like this for you here in this channel. Next sentence we have. Cuando era niño, jugaba PlayStation en las tardes. Cuando era niño, when I was a kid, right? That's a period of time. What used to happen? I used to play PlayStation in the afternoons. Jugaba, that's the imperfect tense verb. Jugaba PlayStation en las tardes. Cuando tenía 20 años, estaba en el primer semestre de psicología. Cuando tenía 20 años, during that time, during that period of time, yo estaba, imperfect tense as well, yo estaba en el primer semestre de psicología. I was in the first semester of psychology in school, at college, right? Next example here. Cuando usaba una computadora vieja, no podía trabajar rápido. When I was using an old computer, I couldn't work fast. No podía trabajar rápido. Again, the period of time cuando usaba una computadora vieja, imperfect tense. No podía trabajar rápido. Okay, that's what used to happen. I wasn't able to work fast. That verb, podía, is also in imperfect tense. Now it's time for you to practice, so leave in the comments below ¿qué clase era tu favorita cuando estudiabas en la escuela secundaria? ¿Qué clase era tu favorita cuando estudiabas en la escuela secundaria? If you understand this question, my friend, you are making progress in learning the imperfect tense in Spanish. So let me know in the comments below, ¿qué clase era tu favorita cuando estudiabas en la escuela secundaria? Remember that every time that you are going to describe a period of time in the past and you are going to use a verb, that verb needs to go in imperfect, has to be conjugated in imperfect tense. If you like this video, don't forget to click on the thumbs up, me gusta, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, of course here in YouTube, and if you want to leave your examples in the comments below, I will be happy to take a look at that and let you know my feedback so that you can practice more Spanish. And also, if you want to learn more Spanish, take a look at these two videos that I am going to put right here. Como siempre, yo soy Giancarlo y yo apruebo este mensaje. Nos vemos en el próximo video. Chao.